We have multiple huge Lakers updates to go over today. So we have some huge news as it pertains to their next game against the New York Knicks. We're going to break down all those updates, discuss what it means going forward, as well as discuss some interesting things that have come out surrounding the Lakers that has fans fired up. Stay tuned for all that in this episode, folks. Before we get into it, if you're a part of the 90% who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. Your guys' support has been absolutely unbelievable. If you want to help us towards our big goal of 20,000 subscribers, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And your guys' support, again, thank you. It's been unbelievable. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to go over today. And obviously, we've been talking a lot on this channel about injuries, about, of course, the Luka Doncic trade, all these different things. And there's a big game coming up now against the New York Knicks tomorrow. And not only is it a big game because obviously the Lakers are holding on to that 2 seed with dear life, but because it is against the New York Knicks and Karl-Anthony Towns. Multiple updates on that front, but I want to start with this. There are some huge updates as it pertains to that, ladies and gentlemen. You can see this here, the Lakers status report. The injury report has come out for the game and a bunch of different things here. So Rui Hachimura, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris, again with an illness, is out. So we know those guys are out. However, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Austin Reaves are all probable. And we know LeBron and Luka, we've been, every single time, every game, Luka Doncic and LeBron are on the injury reports. We know LeBron's always going to play. Luka's been a little bit up and down since that, contusion. There's been some rumblings about him not playing and all that. He seems ready to go 100%, so he is in all likely going to play. But Austin Reaves, ladies and gentlemen, has been upgraded to probable. And this is huge news because, again, initially, before we got the MRI back from Shams, we all thought that, okay, maybe he was going to miss a week, a couple weeks, all these different things. And then once the MRI came back as negative, we were hoping he was going to come back soon. We had circled the date for Thursday, obviously, tomorrow, as the day that he can return. And ladies and gentlemen, he is absolutely doing just that. In all likelihood, he is going to play against the Knicks tomorrow. And another thing we'll dive into in a little bit here is Jordan Goodwin. Jordan Goodwin is also questionable following a grade 1 ankle sprain. And ankle sprains in general keep some players out, days, weeks. And again, usually grade 1, doesn't get into the months. But there's also a chance Jordan Goodwin plays. So there's a world where we are back to full health aside from Rui Hachimura in tomorrow's game. And very, very encouraging. Seeing Austin Reaves available to play against the Knicks, every game matters now. Usually at this point of the season, you're fighting for a spot, but in a packed Western Conference where each game matters, we're doing a lot of out-of-town scoreboard watching as it pertains to the Grizzlies, the Nuggets, all these things to maintain that 2 spot and 2 seed. Because again, the 2 seed, it's going to be tough to catch Oklahoma City. It's just probably not going to happen. But that 2 seed gives you a much more favorable matchup, which we can dive into in a little bit here. But again, Austin Reaves in all likelihood is going to play, which is huge news. All 3 of them, the 3-headed monster. But also, there were some rumblings about Karl-Anthony Towns missing the game. He is also going to play. He is not on the injury report. It says here Karl-Anthony Towns will return tomorrow, or likely returning against the Lakers. He will be returning. He is not on the injury report. So I know Hunter and Okeshi said in the post-game video yesterday they're hoping he does play because usually the Lakers dominate Karl-Anthony Towns and all these things. I'm curious to see now the Jackson Hayes versus Cat matchup, the Trey Jemison versus Cat matchup. Again, this is going to be a primed, it is a primetime game on TNT or ESPN, whatever it is, but it is going to be an absolutely electric game. The Lakers have won 7 straight games. They're fighting for the 2 seed. Each game matters. You're on the tail end of the season. You have to come out and absolutely dominate the New York Knicks here. And it's going to be tough, especially, it would have been easier without Cat playing. Cat is playing, but our counterpunch there is Austin Reaves and even Jordan Goodwin, who Goodwin helps a lot being a bench guy who can be, like I mentioned, point of attack defender and all these things. And again, Karl-Anthony Towns is not on the injury report and will be available per league sources. So Cat's back. Reaves is back, and it's going to be, luckily, a non-injury filled game. We love to see games that, there's no injuries. Again, aside from Rui Hachimura, we're just kind of penciling him out for at least the foreseeable future. I'm hoping he's back by the end of the month. It's kind of the timeline I'm expecting from him. Fantastic news. And also surrounding the Knicks are listing Mitchell Robinson, OG Anunoby, and Precious Achiuwa as questionable. So, Cat's going to play. OG, Mitchell Robinson, they're all questionable. I would assume OG is going to play, but we're going to have to see. So, I guess there is a case that they're not, fully healthy, the Knicks, but I would assume they're going to play, which is good news. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, Austin Reaves is the big one for tomorrow's game. He's back. Hopefully, he'll be fully healthy, ready to go, because ultimately, that's going to be a pretty big return for Revo there, because, again, we're hoping we can get back to the starting lineup with this. You can have Gabe Vincent, who had a horrible game against the Pelicans, move him back to the bench, hopefully continue Dalton Knecht, and hopefully Vanderbilt as well can build off of the game the other day. And as it pertains to a couple different things here before we move on, when it comes to looking ahead at the matchups, now I'm not going to look too far ahead at the playoff matchups. A, you have to get there first, and B, you also have to, of course, get to a point where you secure the 2 seed. But there's a pretty good chance we play the Clippers, Kings, and Wolves in round 1. Now, I bring this up because I'm curious to see your guys' thoughts in the comment section. Let me know down below, out of these 3 teams, who would you prefer the Lakers play the most? The Clippers, the Kings, the Wolves. We saw the Lakers have taken care of business against the Clippers. They match up pretty well, albeit they have Ivica Zubac, or Zubac, whatever everyone's first name. And Ivica Zubac is a very big and a fantastic season, having a fantastic season. Brute center, right? No doubt about it. But Jackson Hayes, they've held their own lately. Yes, he had a game where he had like 26 and 17, but I think other than that, the Lakers hang up pretty well. The Kings are interesting. The Wolves as well, I mean, are obviously big. You have Rudy Gobert, you have Julius Randle when healthy, you have, of course, Ant, and the Lakers, I think, match up pretty good against all 3 of these teams. So let me know down below, out of these 3, who would you want to see the Lakers play the most? Because there is a good chance at this point, it's between the Clippers, Kings, and Wolves. A lot of things can change, but hopefully the Lakers can stick to that 2 seed. And I think it's a pretty favorable first round matchup, and a lot more favorable than first round Nuggets like we've seen in the past. So let me know down below what your thoughts are on that. A couple other things as well. JJ Redick spoke out on Luka Doncic a little bit, and I want to just highlight this because it really has been a pleasure to watch Luka, of course, and seeing how teams attack him in JJ Redick's mind behind the game. You see this here. They tried a bunch of different coverages on him, blitz, the drop. He solved every riddle. We're excited about the process when we get good shots, and we were able to generate a lot of good shots tonight, and he was at the forefront of that. And I'm very curious to see how, talking about Luka Doncic, of course, how Luka does against the Knicks, especially OG Anunoby. Now, assuming they put OG on Luka or LeBron, depending who it is, I'm curious to see how Luka Doncic handles, because obviously the defense of the Knicks and Tom Thibodeau are going to be different than, of course, the Pelicans' defense. But watching every game and seeing how Luka Doncic, JJ Redick combined dissect the opposing team's defense is one of the most exciting things about having Luka Doncic. We're seeing now when he gets blitzed, he throws jump passes. When he gets doubled, he's able to see the floor better than everybody else. Like we saw in yesterday's game, we saw a Gortat screen by Trey Jemison. Luka came out and said that that's what he wanted, and they've talked about that in private. They want Trey Jemison to do that more because when Luka drives, you get some Gortat screens, which is essentially just shielding off the opposing center so he can't help if you're unfamiliar. It would be the team, the sky's the limit. And we've seen Luka already start to groom and get Jackson Hayes a lot better. He had a fantastic game. His best game as a Laker, the best game in the past few years. And you have to take care of business. Again, you have this the Celtics Saturday, the Knicks tomorrow. It's going to be a very, very interesting game. And JJ Redick starting to get some credit as well. You see this from Stephen A. Smith. What do you say about JJ Redick? Good Lord have mercy. Says head coach JJ Redick is coach of the year candidate. And we know that Stephen A. Smith is a notable LeBron hater, Lakers hater kind of in general, depending at times. Definitely LeBron hater. You cannot deny the fact that JJ Redick has been one of the best coaches in the NBA. He's going to be coach of the year candidate, depending how they finish the season. If they can hold on to that 2 spot, man, oh man, this is going to be a scary sight. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know down below what your thoughts are. We're going to keep you up to date with all the latest Lakers news. So make sure to hit the subscribe button. Cheers.